When you think of braiding hair, what comes to mind? Some may think, oh, that's easy, but some people may find it a difficult task, so they haven't really tried. When braiding hair, the only materials you'll need are a brush and a hair tie. Some optional supplies are gel or spray. It may make it easier, but it is not required. All throughout school and even to this day, I often braid my hair. It is nice to have my hair braided because it keeps it out of the way, so it's nice if I'm outside or at work doing something active. There are different ways of braiding hair, but the easiest is just a regular braid. If you have a hairbrush and a hair tie, you too can braid hair. Now, we will go over the steps of a perfect braid. First, we will look at the necessary materials to braid. Here, you will see a paddle brush, a round brush, a rat tail comb, a regular hair tie, and some tiny elastic hair ties. Depending on what braid you do, you may need more materials like extra hair ties or more gel. According to an article by Insider, you may want to use detangling spray as well as gel for a more slick back look, as I was saying. I have naturally frizzier hair, so I typically use spray to lay down those flyaway hairs. If you have naturally curly hair, the gel may be helpful to get those curls to lay down and be easier to braid. Sometimes gel can make your hair be a little bit greasy, so you have to be careful not to put too much. Insider recommends a nickel-sized amount, so it's not very much. Having a good hairbrush or a comb is a key part to braiding hair, as you see here. Most people's go-to brushes are going to be one like you see, the two bigger brushes, the paddle brush or the round brush. With a round brush or a paddle brush, it can be hard to section your hair, which is why it's nice to have a comb, because you can take it and section those hairs easier. According to an article by All Things Hair, rat tail combs, as you see here, can be really good for sectioning hair as well as getting out the smaller tangles. The long end that you see here is great for sectioning, while the fine teeth on the other end are good for getting the smoother hair and the tiny tangles, like I said. The last thing you will absolutely need to braid your hair is a hair tie. That's what you use to tie off the end of the braid. According to an article by Glamour, the best hair ties to use are the tiny elastic ones that you see at the bottom. Tiny elastics will hold your hair well as they blend into your hair because they're so small. They're not as bulky as regular hair ties. Regular hair ties can be used, but they are thicker. Like most hair ties, they both come in different colors that'll help them blend into your hair if you want that look like there's nothing there. Sometimes when I use these personally, the big ones slip out of my hair because they're too big for that small section of hair, which is why it's nice to use the small ones. This is going to be our spray. The next step in the braiding process is going to be the preparation phase. This is when you would use the spray to calm down the frizziness or lay down the hairs, as I was talking about. After preparing your hair, you will use the comb to make 3 equal sections, which you'll see here. It's very important to make sure that your sections are equal, because if not, it'll make your braid uneven and it'll be harder to braid. As you get down to the bottom, your hair won't be as long because the smaller sections won't have all that long hair in there. Sometimes when you first start, it can be hard to get your hair sectioned correctly and make sure that they're all even, especially when you're braiding your own hair. Prepping and sectioning the hair enables you to have easier process when you do start braiding. It should be wet enough from the spray to easily manage, but not too wet. As you see here, her hair is laying down, but it's not too wet to where it's going to look wet. The hair should be sticking together, as you see here, just a little bit, so it's easier to keep your sections together. The last thing you want to do is make sure you have all your materials readily available in case you need them during the process, in case you need more of the gel or need more spray, need an extra hair tie in case one breaks, anything like that. Once you're done preparing your hair, you can start braiding. To start, you're going to grab all 3 sections as so. Starting from right to left, you're going to have sections 1, 2, and 3. Once you have your first piece in hand, you will put the first piece over the second piece, and after you do this, you will take your third piece back over the first piece. Once you get the hang of it, you should be able to keep going, and you're just going to repeat this process over and over until you reach the end of the braid. This is showing how you go over the first piece and then back over with the third piece. This is what your final braid is going to look like. Once you finish your braid, you're going to secure it with a hair tie. To make your braid look a little bit more relaxed, you can pull out each strand to where it's a little bit looser. You can do many things to add to your braided look, as in adding a ribbon in and braiding that in, or putting flowers in the final braid. Personally, I like braiding a ribbon into mine because it adds that pop of color, as well as it's just a little bit unique because not many people do that. All right, let's review what we went over. When braiding hair, it is essential to have your tools at close reach. These tools include a brush and hair ties, and you can also use spray or gel as needed. Next time you try to braid your hair, I hope that you refer back to this and it helps you get through all your steps. This last picture you're going to see here is a picture of me with my hair braided. I was on a trip and we were going to ride horses, so I braided my hair to keep it out of my face and keep it up while we were doing that.